Periodt wrote a book, and people actually showed up to celebrate this. And the book is not like him taking full responsibility and asking Nigerians for forgiveness for all the atrocities that he committed in the 8 years that he was in office. No.
No, that there was a time. If you said from any part of this continent and you went outside the country and you introduce yourself, they will ask you what part of Ghana is that. Do you know that?
One of the very things that are very predominant and very, very important to us as citizens of different countries in Africa is our history and our roots. Exactly, guys. And it's interesting to know that in Africa, when you mention the history of Africa or you look down in the history of Africa, streamlined to the history of West Africa, of course, we know we have the West, East, North, South, and Central Africa. There are people, personalities, great heroes that are very, very spectacular, indelible in the map of Africa and West Africa, as West Africans that we are, like Ghana and Nigeria. Exactly. And one of these persons that will never ever be forgotten in the history of West Africa is the person of Sir Dr. Osaje Kwamenkrumah late. This is one outstanding, spectacular, phenomenal hero. Like, I don't know the best word to describe this man we are talking about, that even after years, centuries, decades, call it whatever, after his demise, he still lives and reigns and will continue to live and reign even after our own existence, right? And guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode right here on the stable of Vibes with Chivik. And please, if this is your first time you stumbled on this channel, hi, you're highly welcome. My name is Victoria, aka Vibe with Chivik, on here on this platform. And here we say just the way it is, raw and undiluted, nothing but the bitter, the brutal truth, without sentiment, emotions, and bias. Exactly. And for today's episode, it's about to be historic. It's about to be a banger, so you don't want to miss out. For my returnees, thank you so much for always coming back. And please, I do not forget that I appreciate your love, your support, and everything whatsoever. So I need you to take just a second to click on the like button, share this video, and subscribe. Do not make this your last. Exactly. And with all this being said, let's continue with what we are here for. Now, back to the subject matter. Like I was saying, most of us can attest to the fact that some of us were not there, born during the time of our colonials, down to the history of our various countries like Ghana and Nigeria as case studies for today. And personally, I literally do know that I was not born during the time of most of these inventories, occurrence, history, and documentaries, right? And for today, there are people who are still living, to God be the glory, that have really come up for Nigeria and Ghana to always, time to time, refreshing our memory, our mind of what it was during the time of history in Nigeria and in Ghana. So I would definitely play this simultaneously, hand in hand, based on what recently busted out on the Nigerian community of our history, one of our history years as Nigerians, of some people who did live, who did witness some of these inventories and definitely have a thing or two to tell us for Nigeria and also for Ghana. We have one of our legends from Nigeria that has deemed it fit to refreshing our memory, to take us aback and let us know how impactful the country, the motherland Ghana has been, not today, right from time immemorial. And that's why when I see Nigerians try to disrespect and put down the country Ghana, I feel very, very irritated, annoyed, and upset about such things, because as a matter of fact, if we do not even know the role Kwamenkrumah played, we should also know that Ghana is older than Nigeria with 3 good years. Like 3 solid years is not 3 days. Respect to that. And that's why I will always see Ghana as our older siblings. Yes, that is a matter of fact and not joke. Okay, and let's just take these videos. I will not intercept, watch them hand in hand based on other people's video clip, based on reaction and analysis. Credit to them. And yes, afterwards I will come back and give my final input, reactions, and opinion as well as yours. Let's do this.
Periodt wrote a book, and people actually showed up to celebrate this. And the book is not like him taking full responsibility and asking Nigerians for forgiveness for all the atrocities that he committed in the 8 years that he was in office. No. In fact, he blames his chief of defense staff at the time, Sani Abacha, who later became another dictator. He said his military officers, led by his chief of defense staff, were the ones that annulled the most free and fair election that we've ever had as a country, June 12, 1993, when Nigerians elected MKO Abiola as president. His book says that Abacha was the one that annulled the election without his permission. I'm like, wow, wow. Guys, this is like an insult on our collective intelligence. Babangida without his permission. This is not just an insult on our intelligence, guys. Babangida must believe that we're all smoking something, because who announced the annulment? He did. There was no gun pointing to his head when he was announcing. Babangida is not stupid. He's very well spoken. He knew exactly what he was doing. Maybe he had an agreement with Abacha that after me you will be next. But for him to say Abacha was the one without his permission, that's a big fat lie from the pit of hell. I mean, why was he the head of state if the chief of defense staff was the one in control? He should not even be talking. Guys, among other atrocities that he carried out, Babangida ordered his men to open fire on unarmed protesters. He killed at least 118 of them in broad daylight for demanding that he should validate that election. You know, the question still remains, who killed Delegiwa, a renowned journalist that was killed by a parcel bomb during Babangida's time? There had been no justice for all the people that were killed, or for him hijacking true democracy. But now he wrote a book and we're celebrating. The most disappointing one for me was seeing Professor Osinbajo, a lawyer, a senior advocate, someone that knows the law. Was seeing him there. It's not every event that you have to attend now. He even reviewed the book. I was like, wow. You know, there were so many people in that room that day that had contributed to stalling the progress of Nigeria. And not only were these people celebrating, they even donated. Babangida raised 17.5 billion naira that day. Within like 3 hours. Billion, not million. That's more than $11 million. In 3 hours, like 11.5 million. He said it's to set up a presidential library. I was like, shoo. He's now the one setting up a presidential library. Hey, God. This insult on our collective intelligence is just too much. In fact, forget all the money that he stole as head of state and all the pension that he's been getting all these years. Maybe they will spend 500 million naira on the library. The man just raised 17 billion for his family when he leaves. And you know, the sad thing, Nigerians are so quick to forget, because he tried to tell us what we know to be true is actually not true. He painted it like he was powerless. Oh, there was nothing he could do. Abacha was the bad guy. But Abacha don't die. If you want to know what actually happened that time, guys, and how Babangida's action changed the trajectory of Nigeria, how it affected so many lives, and how our hope was dashed, my people, read this book. It's a novel, so you will not be bored. In fact, it's a love story. You get caught up in the whole lovey thing that happened in this book. But it's not biography. It's a love story written around the incidents of June 12. You know how Chimamanda's Half of a Yellow Sun brings the Civil War to life. You feel like you are there while reading it. That's how this book brings June 12 to life. It's written by an award-winning storyteller, an author, a speaker, and my very good friend, Abishola Ayodeji. It's one of those books that you can put down once you start reading it. Let me warn you. Just make sure that you read through chapter 1. You will just realize you can't put it down, you know. And it's also on Audible if you would rather listen to it while driving. The only thing is, you will cry if you read this book, because Nigeria happened to some characters in this book. The effect of June 12 is real, guys. There are lives that were forever changed because of what Babangida and his cronies did that time. And no amount of book launching will wipe the truth. I'm so mad. I'm purposely promoting this book because he's trying to rewrite history. This book is on Amazon, guys. Please buy it. I know the truth for yourself. Yes, this whole thing happened like 32 years ago. Some people are already forgetting the events of that time. Some of us were too young to remember the details. Some people were not born. But if you read this book, you will know why all this book launching cannot wipe out the truth from our memory. In fact, I feel insulted. So please.
No, that there was a time, if you said from any part of this continent and you went outside the country and you introduce yourself, they will ask you what part of Ghana is that. Do you know that? But I should know that. If you went outside the country, they will ask you what part of Ghana have you come from. It is to tell you how popular Ghana was. Because then, if you saw a map of Ghana, you will see on that map of Ghana, kwamenkrumah or Sajefo. And at that time, Ogenejan was the director of sports. I thank all of you for this little opportunity to go back to history and to let you know that as Africa, we have contributed to the development of the outside world and our own continent. And I know that in due course, Africa will make more progress with what I am seeing here. Because no other place qualifies to host this kind of occasion than Ghana. And to conclude, when Nasser was the president of Egypt and then Nkrumah was the president of Ghana, it was a question of black uniting with the white up there in the north, and the wife of Nkrumah was the daughter of Nasser.
Peter Edochie, what he's saying about Ghana, he's telling the whole world, not just in Nigeria, he's telling the whole world about the country, what we have produced, what we have contributed into African continent entirely is the veteran actor Peter Edochie of Nigeria.
Why most performers from outside Africa don't come to Africa is because they don't get encouraged. I can tell you that. Because I trained in the BBC and I know what I'm talking about. Listen, I am going to talk about the glory that was Ghana, that is Ghana, that will continue to be Ghana. This continent has produced Dr. kwamenkrumah. This continent produced Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. This continent produced the man from Kenya, Jomo Kenyatta. This country produced Nelson Mandela. Look, Africa has made its contribution to the entire world, and I can tell you that. If you want to assess a people and their contributions to the world, you think about their culture. Culture is eclectic. Culture is dynamic. And because of the impact of culture on the minds of people, Ghana registered an indelible impression on the minds of the entire African people on the continent. First of all, let's talk about Ghanaian music. There was a guy called E.T. Mensah. He began it all. He gave us day by day, and then Africa, the home of freedom. Ghana, the land of freedom. Then after E.T. Mensah, we have the Black Beats of Ghana, led by King Bruce. We have the Broadway Dance Band with Joss Akins. We had the Ramblers Dance Band with Jerry Hansen. We have the African Brothers with Ampadu. Then, of course, came the guitar band series, C.K. Man, E.K. Nyame, because there were so many of them. And all this music originated from Ghana. Why? In Nigeria, the popular genre in music is high life. Where did high life come from? Ghana. This is where it originated. And this is why, whenever you play high life, you cannot forget to mention that this is the home of high life. Sitting down here and looking at the young men and women performing, I tell you the truth, I've been carried away. I wish I were as light as Pat Thomas. I would have been dancing here, you know? Ghana became independent in 1957. Until then, so many countries on the continent of Africa were not independent. There was a football competition that was organized in 1957 between Ghana and Nigeria. It was called the Jalco Cup competition. I don't ever recall that experience with nostalgia, but with plenty of melancholy. Why? Because Ghana beat us by 7 goals to nothing. Now, when we come to the field of sports, the first Ghanaian boxer to become a British Empire featherweight champion was somebody called Roy Ankra. You don't know that. On the continent of Africa, I want you to listen properly. Roy Ankra from here became the first British Empire featherweight champion. But we got the world champion before you, then you started producing them. We got the first world featherweight boxing champion, Hogan King Bossy, Nigerian. First world middleweight boxing champion, D. Tiger from Nigeria. Then we paused. Then you took over. You got Ike Potte, you got Azuma Zoom Zoom Nelson, and then the young man behind us. It will be difficult for you to see any country on the continent of Africa that has impressed the world. I mean, like Ghana. When you beat us by 7 goals to nothing, I remember some of the names that inflicted that humiliation on us. I remember Agrifin, center forward, Wilberforce Nfum, goal, center half Charles Gayanfi, captain, outside right Babayara, outside left Salisu, left full back Oblite, right full back Odameti.
Welcome back, guys. It's been raining reactions upon reactions from the Nigerian audience, as you have seen, based on this IBB Ibrahim Babangida's book launch that is sprouting a lot of reactions, commentaries, and analysis. And guys, I will tell you that during this period, I was not even born, yes. And hearing these things actually enlightens and educates me. And most times, that's why I encourage people, especially these Gen Z generations, to always do research on history, go down to history, or read. It's unfortunate most of our young ones do not even care about reading, researching, and understanding history. And that's why when questions are being thrown to them about their history, they don't know. And that's why the ambassador will always, time to time, bring up videos like these, yes, to always enlighten and educate us on what has happened way back, even before people like me, myself, I, and you were born. And some of us too who were born then, who witnessed this thing, can attest to the fact that this and more are even things that happened in Nigeria and as well in Ghana, based on what our legend Pet Edochie has really enlightened us. And this was quite refreshing, interesting, and educative to learn, because pure before now, I won't tell you lies, I did not know most of these things. It's as a result of, like what I'm saying, researching and learning, digging deep to know more about not just my country alone, country like Ghana and the rest of other countries we have in West, East, North, and South Central Africa. That has really helped me a great deal. And trust me, I will not gatekeep. I will always bring them here so that we can all learn together. Now you see why this platform on Vibe with Chivik is very important and necessary, that you don't miss out. Because if you want to know history, if you want to be educated, if you want to be informed, entertained, inspired, motivated on trending, historic, not just trending, things that does and had already existed and are still existing, do well to check on this channel, because it's fully loaded and packed. I have a lot of content that to keep you down on your seat to binge watch over and over again. You don't want to miss out, darling, do you? Now let me know what you think about what Pet Edochie has said. I don't want to repeat what he has said. We heard clearly. I believe we paid attention to details. Did you? Yes, if you did, I did. And as well, what my sister Adiola has shared based on her own reaction, breakdown of what is trending in the Nigerian history, in the Nigerian community, about Nigerian history that once happened. Yes, for Nigerian audience that are here, even my Ghanaian audience, I believe we have learned a thing or two. Now, sure do tell me what you think in the comments, okay? And as well, I would love to read your comments and definitely get to know what you think. Yes, once again, if you're yet to like this video, what are you waiting for? Kindly do hit on the like button. It helps the algorithm to know that this video was really insightful and educative. It's absolutely free of charge, no cost, no charges attached. Please, I beg of you. May I say, please, I beg of you. Akwaba, my people. See, guys, and to sum this up, I would love to say that I sincerely do appreciate all your love, your comment on here. And pardon me, I am really unstable, a kind of due to personal issues and circumstances, and as well taking time to take care of my life and family, other events, okay? But this is the month of March. I think by the time this video will be up, we're in the month of March. Happy new month. Welcome to the month of March, and we will be marching forward, ever, backward, never. Congratulations to each and every one of you, yes. And we are definitely coming alive, full of energy, banger, life, full of health and strength on this space, because you don't want to miss out what I have cooked, prepared for each and every one of us. So stick to this channel, keep an eye on this channel, and continue to show the love and support. And I, the ambassador of the motherland, one of Ghana, who always do what she knows how to do best, any day, anytime. And for now, this is what we have for today's episode. Like I said, let me know your thoughts, your opinion, your reactions in the comment section. I have intelligent men and women, boys and girls on here. You don't want to play, don't play. If you play, you're gonna learn the hard way. O'Shea baddest. Until then, keeping it real, happy, safe, and blessed. And I, the ambassador, vibes upon vibes with Chivik, will see you in my next one. Ciao, ciao.